Hello, welcome to a new episode of B Sharp and C. Today we're going to get right in it. This is actually, I think, one of the most underrated rock songs of all time from an underrated band, but it's a band that, to their credit, is about as popular as you would expect a band to be who did what they did. But they did a lot, and I'm not going to get too into the history of this band. They started in 1963. The band is the Kinks. They started in 1963, and what else? And this rock song here, it was released in 1985. It's the song "Living on a Thin Line." I think it's one of the most underrated rock songs of all time, and I think that the songwriting is amazing. The message is powerful, and it's just a good song. And it's really simple, but they did get a little creative with the songwriting. So let's listen to the intro. Nice, I love that snare hit.
All the stories have been told of kings in days of old, but there's no England now. All the war.
I love what they did right there. And as you'll notice as the song progresses, things change. But let me pull up my piano. My piano's out of tune. It's an electric piano.
Have been told of kings in days of old, but there's no England now.
I love this. F, C, back to G.
All the wars that were won or lost somehow don't seem to matter very much anymore. All the lies we were told.
So my piano is like a little bit off because I have Reason 10, and Reason 10 is not compatible with my version of Apple that I'm using. So the piano doesn't really stay in tune. It slowly like goes flat or something. Okay, so I'll edit that out somehow. I've just been tired of editing because I can't. I've made this episode like 3 times already, and I had so many coughing fits while I was doing it that I just gave up. And I'm tired of stopping it. So I'm just gonna go through. At any rate, why does that sound so good? Listen.
All the stories have been told of kings in days of old,
G,
but there's no
D.
England now.
Ready? F, C, back to
All
D.
the wars that were won or lost.
Why do I think that, and this is my opinion, this is my analysis of the song. Why do I think that there's no England now, and then that F to C bit, why does that sound so good? Is the key is D major. And D major is one of those keys that, in my opinion, it's a major key, but you can almost make it sound minor. D major with the right vocal melody and the right chord progression almost could sound minor just because of the way that D is. But what he does here is, if you look at a D major chord, it's D, F sharp, and A, right? D minor would be D, F, and A. The minor sound. But what he does here is after he does he sings, and then he does C, G, and then back to D. But then he does F major, C, and then back to D. Why I like that is because that F major, that F chord is the flat third of the D major scale. It's not in the D major scale. You know, the D major scale would be D, E, and F sharp, G, A, right? But he doesn't play F sharp. He plays F, C, and then goes back to D. So that little thing there, there's no England now. I can't sing because I'll start coughing. And listen when he starts singing. His voice is perfectly crisp.
All the stories have been told of kings in days of old, but there's no England now.
Back to D. F, C, D.
All the wars that were won or lost somehow don't seem to matter very much anymore.
Did he just as a riff?
All the lies we were told, all the lives of the people running round, their castles are burned. I see change,
Okay.
but inside we're the same as we ever were. Living on a thin line.
So, oops. Okay, so that little thing there. So let's look at the songwriting. He goes D, C, G, D, right? But then F, C, back to D, right? The first part of that verse is when they sing, "There's no England now." But then after that, for the next two verses, it's just, right? And that's if you really want to look, if you really, really, really want to break that down, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but he's kind of playing right there. It's kind of right out of the D minor scale with a 9 added. Or because it's over the F chord, it's really, that's D, E, F, and that's just down the scale, right? So F, E, D, C. And then so, and that lands on the C chord, right? So he's kind of like doing a little run up to the F, and then a run down the F scale, right, to the C, and then he just goes and lands back on the D again. But it has a minor feel to it. It has a minor feel, and it could be, you could say, well, it's kind of out of the D minor scale, and you wouldn't be wrong. It is out of the D minor scale, you know, and then I would actually say that E being played as kind of like a 9 feel, you know.
Kings in days of old, but there's no England now.
I love how he sings it there.
Somehow don't seem to matter very much anymore. All the lies we
You can hear it going out of tune.
All the lives of the people
I hate technology.
castles are burned. I see change, but
It's going out of tune slowly. An electronic piano. So here's the chorus.
Tell me now, what are we supposed to do? Living on a thin line.
1985, this song came out.
What are we supposed to do?
Well, here's what I really like about it.
Living on a thin line.
Sorry.
Living this way, each day's a dream. What am I? What are we supposed to do? Living on a thin line. Tell me now, what are we supposed to do? Now another
Okay.
century nearly gone.
I'm going to stop the song right here. So this whole entire song, they employ a songwriting method called You thought so, didn't you? I just made that up. But it's kind of what it is. So think about it. He sings this line.
I've been told of kings in days of old, but there's no England now.
So after that first verse, a couple guys come in, right, his backup singers, and sing, "There's no England now." So you think, okay, so after every verse, they're going to do that. But they don't. He only does it once in the whole song.
Don't seem to matter very much anymore.
Where is it? It's not there,
All
right?
the lies we were told
So there's that, but then listen to the chorus.
inside, we're the same.
Ready? So here's the chorus. Living on a thin line. Ooh, tell me now, what are we supposed to do? Okay.
Living on a thin line. Tell me now. Living on a thin line.
There's no guy repeating it there.
Tell me now.
Interesting.
What are we supposed to do?
But the second time around on the chorus,
Living on a thin line.
a guy comes in and sings it in the background.
Tell me now.
Okay.
What are we supposed to
So two passes of the chorus are different.
do? Living on a thin line.
Now,
Living this way, each day's a dream. What a night.
did you hear the "living on a thin line" on the main singing of the line? Someone came in, a backup singer, a background singer came in and shouted it out. But then after he sings "Living on a Thin Line," "living this way, each day's a dream. Tell me now, what are we supposed to do?" So,
Living this way, each
You ready?
day's a dream. What a night. What are we supposed
third
to do?
time around,
Living on a thin line. Tell me now, what are we supposed to do? Now another
so
time. Living on a thin
let's go back.
line. Tell me now, what are we
It's a long chorus. Okay, ready?
living on a
First run, "Living on a Thin Line." All him, all Ray Davies.
what are we supposed to do?
Okay, second run. More than one person sang it. Someone came in. Third run.
Living on a thin line. Living this way. each
Different.
day's a dream. What a night. What are we supposed to do?
Fourth run.
Living on a thin line. Tell me now, what are we supposed to do?
All right, so for all intents and purposes, it kind of like does this thing where the first line of the chorus, it's just Ray Davies living on a thin line. What are we supposed to do? Second line, there's a backup singer, and then a backup singer repeats, "living on a thin line," right? And then they do it. On the third time around, they do that again. There's a backup singer while he's singing "Living on a Thin Line." The line is repeated, but then he doesn't say, "Ooh, what are we supposed to do?" He says, "Living this way, each day's a dream. Tell me now, what are we supposed to do?" Right? And then he does it, and then for the fourth line, he does something different. So each time he comes around for the chorus, it's a little bit different from the time before, right? And that's why it's like, "Oh, you thought I was going to do this. You know, oh, I tricked you." It's like they're tricking us with the songwriting. But here's the biggest trick of the song. Now, here come the verses again. So you're thinking you're going to hear that D, C, G, and then that remember that F, C, back to D, right? It might, well, it's not out of tune. So you think you're going to hear, "There's no England now." So you think you're going to hear that progression, right? So the first chord should be D. The song is in the key of D. When the verses start, you think that you should hear a D, right?
Now another century nearly gone.
It's a C.
What are we gonna
So here you have the verses come back, and they're not even the same chord changes as the first set of verses. It sounds like a bridge almost. It's like, what is this? Well, what he did was he just removed the D. In fact, there's a website that I enjoy using. Look at the chord changes for the verses, okay? All the stories have been told of C and days of G, but there's no D. There's no F, C, then D, right? All the wars that were won along. So there's that thing. Then you have the chorus, but now look again at the verses. It's C, G, D, C, G, D, C, G, D, C, G, D. It doesn't start with D. And there's also no F, C at the end of the line. There's no. There is none of that. Sorry, there's so much latency right now. My DAW is just not set up properly. I apologize for that. I have not been recording a lot lately. Anyways, so that whole thing is taken out. That little run in the key of F, or if you want to say the little D minor run, or however you want to interpret it, that's gone. He doesn't use that, right? So now you have the second set of verses coming, and the chords are different. The D in the beginning is gone. He just removes that D and does all the changes, but starts at the C instead. So he kind of starts at the, he doesn't start at the D. So that's different. So here you have the songwriting is completely different. It's just full of surprises. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring out this song. And I'm not going to play the whole song. If you want to listen to it, you can go to, YouTube or whatever streaming service you use and put in the song Living on a Thin Line by the Kinks. But that's it. That's my analysis. So I hope you guys like it. I do apologize. I got COVID a couple of weeks ago, and I was really sick for 5 days, and I am just not well still. I'm still coughing. I get lightheaded after I cough. Sometimes I cough, and then I end up vomiting because I'm just coughing so much. I can't control myself. I apologize for that. I can't think. I'm constantly with this heaviness in my chest. So I don't know if I ended up getting bronchitis because of COVID. I don't know. But I have just not been 100% for quite some time. Stay tuned also to my channel on YouTube. I am going to take 10 songs and then somehow find a way to change the songs so that I can perform them live. I'm going to get a microphone for the saxophone, and I'm going to work on getting about 10 songs live and then see if I can go somewhere and perform. I'm just going to try. I don't know, but that's what I want to do. I want to perform. I want to perform the saxophone, and I want to do it with my music. So that's what I'm going to do. At any rate, I guess that's it. So again, this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. Thank you for your attention, your presence. I don't know. I can't think. I can't form sentences still. I still can't form sentences. Thank you very much, and keep it groovy.